What's up, guys? It's Chris with Palmer Aquatics. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you like fish tanks, fish aquariums. Today we're going to talk about Buenos Aires Tetras, tank mates, and full-size growth of this fish. Today is a viewer submission. Someone sent to me, hey Chris, what is the full-size growth of a Buenos Aires Tetra, and what should I expect for keeping these fish with tank mates? You know, what other fish can you keep with the Buenos Aires Tetra? And I'm going to get to that and play some sweet B-roll of the Buenos Aires Tetra. So if you have an aquarium, please like this video for the love of fish keeping. My name's Chris with Palmer Aquatics, and I do this video thing where I just do helpful videos on taking care of fish. I have tons of fish aquariums. You can check out my 3 YouTube channels devoted to fish tank talk and what have you. So without further ado, let's talk about tank mates for the Buenos Aires Tetra and their full-size growth. Here's some footage that I took of my local PetSmart and some Buenos Aires Tetras that they had in stock. I gotta say, these fish don't look so great, but that's pretty common to find because, you know, these are at a big chain pet store like PetSmart, Petco, and when the fish come in, they're not that great looking. You know, they're not sick fish, but they're just not at their healthiest. For one, all of their aquariums are tied into one system, so if one fish has one sickness, they all essentially get it. It's not the greatest of systems, but guys, this is how big pet chain stores have been forever. But let's talk about tank mates for the Buenos Aires Tetra. I always advise people to keep tetra fish with other tetra fish in mild-mannered fish. Tetra fish are super full of anxiety. They get scared very easily. They're always darting around the tank when they get nervous. And if you were to keep something like a cichlid with them or something more aggressive, what happens is they just get more nervous. And when tetra fish get nervous, they get sick and they die. So I would advise to you to be very careful with your tank mates for the Buenos Aires Tetras. You know, some of the best tank mates are going to be other tetra fish. I've also had very good luck keeping these fish with silver dollar fish, and they're similar to tetra, and they're even part of the same family as the tetras. So it all kind of comes back to keeping them with tetras. And I know there are some other fish that work well, like gourami fish and labyrinth fish like that as well. Tetras, you know, the big part is you want to keep them in a bigger school/shoal just so that they can have that large group to kind of have that security in a pack together, because that's how these fish work. They feel so much better in a pack, and they can roll with each other, and they can just, you know, that's how these fish are. I'm going to say that 100 times in this video. I also find that tetras do the best in planted aquariums. I know a lot of people are afraid to dive into their first planted tank, but man, once you get it going, like the fish just flourish, and especially tetras. You know, some of the best planted tanks you see, people keep tetras in them because they don't wreck any plants. They kind of just do their thing, and they just flourish in them. The Buenos Aires Tetra grows to around 2 to 4 inches. They're a mid-sized tetra, even on the larger side, I would say. You can also keep them with pretty much all sizes of tetra because tetras aren't going to eat other tetras. So you literally have pretty much the whole wide spectrum of all the different types of tetras there are to keep with them. And to go back to talk about the live planted tank setup, guys, it's really not as hard as you think it is. Literally just figure out a substrate. I highly advise fluval stratum. Get yourself a planted tank light. You know, there's some mediocre to mid-range price ones on Amazon. I've really had good luck with the Beamswork lights or the Night Crew lights. There's a lot of budget line lights that work completely well with planted tanks. You might be asking yourself, hey Chris, you keep telling us to do planted tanks, but the footage you're showing us doesn't have any planted tank setups, and that's because a lot of this video footage is from fish stores. I promise you guys, you gotta trust me, tetras flourish in planted tank setups because it's like the all-around ecosystem all in itself, and you'll have to do less water changes, and you can sell off the plants when they propagate, you know, and make babies. Planted tanks are the way to go. Wow, look at these here. As we moved on to the different stages of videos, the fish look better, and the colorations on these Buenos Aires Tetras are light years ahead of the first ones we looked at in the PetSmart. Alright guys, that about sums up the Buenos Aires Tetra tank mates and the full-size growth at which they grow at. Let me know in the comment section what your plans are with the Buenos Aires Tetras. Why are you researching them? Are you planning on keeping them? Do you have some now? Did you see some at your fish store? What size aquarium are you thinking about keeping them in? I love hearing all that stuff, and that's why I make these videos on the fish. So without further ado guys, please like this video and subscribe and show some love. Whoop whoop!